Hello, everybody. I had seen a lot of discourse online about some banners being boring or just being not what people want. Mostly that ball gowns are boring by this point because everybody has had too many ball gowns. So I thought, what do I, as a person, look for in a banner? What do I like? What do I dislike? What would I pull for? And what wouldn't I pull for? And I decided to break that down as pieces. Things that I don't really want anything else in that category. Pieces that I would love to see expanded and to have more of. So I broke it down into categories of things that I have too much of and I don't want anymore. This might mean that I still use these pieces, I don't want any extra pieces to join the category. Things that I have very little of and I still wouldn't want anymore because it's just not my thing. Things that I have a lot of but I would still love, extra things in that category. And things that I have very little of and I would absolutely still love, extra additions to the category. When I broke it all down, if we start from outfit pieces that I have too much of, what you will notice is that at least two of these are banner fillers. I have quite a bit. Let me move it a little bit so that you can read it properly. I have quite a bit of socks with just like a tiny, teeny bit of pattern to them. Like there's just like a little gold thread at the top, or like a little bit of a flowery shape, or just like a little bit of a snowy shape. And it's always tights or thigh-high socks that will be bland in color and it will be bland in what's on it. Some of them have ruffles and I don't mind those that have ruffles because that's at the very least something interesting to the sock. Normally, I accumulate such 5-star simple socks because they add such 5-star simple socks in order to expand the amount of items that there are on any singular banner. In the same category, we have plain chokers. This doesn't mean that I don't ever want to see another choker ever again. It's just that a lot of recent 5-star chokers remind me of 4 and 3-star chokers, where they just feel like they were thrown in order to expand the amount of items there is on a banner, and not necessarily to actually add to the feel of the outfit or provide you with any kind of unique item. I have enough of those, thanks. Now, category up here, metal headbands. I do use them, I don't mind them, but I do feel like I have quite enough of them. I throw anything metal that goes on the head into the metal headbands category. So some of them will have like stringy bits, namely the mermaid banner and the floral rebirth banner. Some of them will just be a thing that goes on your head, and some of them like will have a longer thing that goes here. Some of them will have like a thing that goes on your head and some stringy bits. I like them, but there's only so many variations of metal headband that I need in my wardrobe. So while I do use these ones, I don't particularly seek any more of these. Like, I approach the point where I'm like, yep, that's enough. I'm good on metal headbands, thanks. I don't need any more. The last category of something that I have a lot of and I don't need any more is normally something that accumulates through free items only, because for some reason Infold loves this. Brooches. Quite specifically, not something that goes here and is rather a unique design. Like, I have a bow that attaches in the brooch category. It's fairly unique and it's a way for me to enhance the outfit. There's also the fake 5-star anniversary outfit that only had like one glow up and like no evolutions, where their brooch is like a giant sprawling metal thing. Those are interesting. What I mean is I have an infinite amount almost, what feels like a brooch on either of the corners. It will normally be kind of huge, fairly tacky, and I legitimately have no use for it whatsoever. And normally, whenever we have a patch and we do some quests, another NPC will be like, I got a special thing to give you, and it will be like your bazillionth brooch. And I'm like, cool, let me put it back into the part of the closet where I don't use these things. So, Infold, can we have something that isn't a brooch? I mean, don't start giving out plain socks either, but can we be a bit creative? Glasses, face coverings, interesting hats, jewelry. Don't just make it an infinite amount of brooches. I have enough of brooches. Pieces that I have very little of, but I don't want, is mostly things that kinda imply that I'm not a furry, I think, because I do feel weird about wearable animal features of many kinds outside of some. So, for example, a second pair of ears. That never feels right for me because you still have your first pair of ears, so you just look like a double-eared monstrosity. I don't particularly want to wear floofy tails. I don't particularly want to have a fursuit. And then we come to very niche use items. Construction helmets. Slippers. I have 2 slippers. It's not on the list, but I have 2 slippers in my wardrobe. Where am I gonna use slippers? It's not like a slipper as in a dainty shoe slipper. It's like a slipper as in I'm going to bed right now slipper. And I understand that we have these for roleplay reasons, or in case you wanna roleplay in your house. But 2 slippers is enough amount of slippers. I don't need any more slippers. I'm good on slippers. Full face masks. There is some things that I do like, so I don't want to like put in all the masks into this category. Like visors can be cool, like eye hiding things can be cool. But when you just like slap a whole ass face mask onto Nikki, I don't get to see my own makeup anymore. I don't get to do all of the rest of the customization of Nikki. So while I do know that once again somebody's gonna be super into this, it's not an item that I need. Once again, this is a personal list and it kind of correlates on what I would pull on and what I wouldn't pull on rather than this is how it must be and this is the only way that it must be. Another niche use item that I can think of is I have a pair of what looks like to be like a skiing mask. I don't remember, but I think it came with an electrician's outfit. I'm not gonna like use that. We don't have skiing in the game. When am I gonna like have like a full face eye protector thingy? When am I gonna have a use for that? And then the only exception in this that's not a insanely niche item and not an item that would appeal to furries is ball gowns. It's just not a dress shape that I particularly enjoy in Infinity Nikki. There is one ball gown exception, and that's 1.11 dress. I think it's because it's frayed and I like the theming. Other than that, if I see a ball gown, I'm like, it's a no pull month for me. Yippee! What else are you gonna say? Because somebody's gonna like those. Somebody's gonna super love ball gowns. It's just, it's not for me, and that is okay. Moving to items that I have a lot of, but I would so love more of. horns are up there. Horns, I think, are kind of a necessity. I missed one 4-star that had the ram's horns. I do actually want to get her on a rerun. Otherwise, I think it's nearly to a point where I see horn I want to collect. Veils are another sort of necessity where I see veil, I want to collect. And a lot of veils are very clippy. Out of the 5 veils portrayed, over there, up there, there's one veil missing, which is Floral Rebirth. I put that item into a different category, but it's also a veil. Out of the 5 veils that are portrayed up there, 3 clip. The only ones that don't clip are the ones that are fairly like away from the head. And I am missing one, which is once again the ball gown from 1.11. Now this is not a I must pull if I see this, but I seem to be using it quite a lot, and I sort of enjoy seeing it when it does come up, which is various variations of flowers in here. Mostly it won't be real flowers, but some sort of almost art piece made from flowers or even fake flowers. So anything from like big bushy glowy flowers to the 1.8 cat spanners, flower hair accessories that are also like stuck in with like really long pins, flowers that go as like a tie, flowers that just go as a circle around your essentially anything that's flower shaped and that goes on your head. While it is not a decider for me whether or not I pull, I enjoy that kind of thing and I find a use for it. I often wear a variation of it of one type or another. Now this one will be quite surprising for people, but I think it's because of how varied the platforms that we got so far are. It's not a must pull. If I see this, I don't go, oh my god, I must pull right now. But unlike a lot of people, I think I don't hate and don't mind receiving platform shoes, and it is the thing that my Nikki wears the most often. The 2.21 Wang Shang Weaves Life, where Wang Shang Weaves Life Moon Lady banner. Her platforms are incredibly unique because it represents an entirely different time, style, and dynasty. Behind Prayers platforms would be one of my most used platforms because it has like a sword sticking through it and looks quite gothy. I do find myself enjoying Floral Rebirth platforms. It has like a very excessive heel, like it has like a shape to it, and it feels like a sort of a variation on Tide of Tears platforms, which is a lot more plain, but it's still more in-depth than the free 5-star platforms which we have received. Then Timeless Melody platforms are almost like an entirely different group where it's less shiny and like more, I want to say cagey, but cagey, I suppose, is the right word. Like, the platform itself is not made from a shiny material, which happens quite often with platforms in Infinity Nikki. And then, of course, I found inspiration of literal cages, Wishful Rosa platforms. So, what I mean is, not only do I use these items a lot, but when we do see platforms, they tend to be fairly unique compared to the platforms we have gotten before. So unlike other people that go, oh no, not another platform shoe, I go, but is it a nice platform shoe? Is it a platform shoe that I actually want in my collection? I don't mind if I end up with like 30 platform shoes if all of them are like sufficiently different. Like, while I would like other types of shoes too, I don't mind. And then this category is practically a must pull because I got fixated on it, and I do believe I'm gonna need it anytime when it comes up, which is slit eyes. Currently, I have 4. Cat Banner's base eyes. I don't think that it had alternative makeup before, so once again, when it reruns, I might really need to get the final evolution. I don't know if she has alternative makeup or not, but I assume that by the time it does rerun, she will absolutely have alternative makeup. I want slit eyes is as many variations, as many colors as possible. Of course, I have the full 2.4 Red Riding Hood and Wolf banner eyes. I use them quite a lot. I'm not like super a fan of the effect that comes out of them, but I use them quite often, especially the pink ones, because they're very light. It adds to that otherworldly favor. If I want to look predatory, I will go for the red ones. If I want to look otherworldly, I will go for the light pink ones, because it just looks so surreal. Then when I want to look kind of basic and not have eye effects, I go for the snake ones, which became my go-to slit eyes. There are other sort of supernatural eyes that I wouldn't mind. Like, for example, goat eyes are incredibly unique. So, slit eyes might expand to like predatory eyes or unsettling eyes or different sort of eyes to begin with. But for now, it's plainly a category of slit eyes. If the eye has a normal pupil, something just makes me very not interested in it. So I kind of got fixated on eye's pupils more than the rest of the eye, which kind of actually gets me a very nice focus point of this is the kind of eye that I want, this is the kind of eye that I don't want, and stops me from pulling on banners that I might not use the eyes from all that much. Like, for example, Born Flawless from 2.0 had this ethereal look to her eyes because they almost like glowed in the dark and they were very scattered, but she wasn't slit-eyed. So I didn't feel any fear of missing out of that. So I'm fixated on this, and no matter the banner, if you release slit eyes, I'm at the very least spending 20 pulls, I think, to actually like secure my slit eyes. It does help that you only need 20 pulls to secure the base makeup. It doesn't help that you need the full evolution to secure the second version of the makeup, and if I'm that obsessed about the eyes, then, 400 pulls become very tempting. And now welcome to the category of I have very little of these items, and I absolutely want a lot more of the items. I have exactly 1 pair of wings, and I'm not satisfied with it, because it's kind of fluffy set that just kind of floats away from your body. But my issue is that I'm not gonna pull on the full outfit just for the wings. Unlike slit eyes, which you can secure in 20 pulls, the minimum that you need to secure an item that you really, really want from a 5-star banner is 100 pulls to guarantee it with Ocean's Blessing. So there were several banners that I hated the look of, but I wanted the wings from. Like, for example, the 1.6 fairy banner. I could use a grooming outfit, and I wanted those wings, but it was a Barbie-themed ball gown, effectively. So the whole theme of the outfit is not appealing to me, and as a result, I didn't pull on it, but it means that I missed out on the wings. Similarly to 2.5 Valkyrie fighting 5-star, the banner that I didn't pull on, it had gorgeous crystalline dragon wing. It's kind of like a bony wing, but it looks like it had like crystals hanging off it. Gorgeous item. I would have loved it. And honestly, there are other parts of that set that I would have loved too, like its socks, for example, but I'm not gonna spend 200 pulls only for the wings and the socks. It's not. Unlike the horns and the veils, which I ended up collecting somehow, I'm not into collecting those necessarily. I would just want them. So if the stars align, and I like a banner. Oh god, I would love a good pair of wings with it. Hello! That video was recorded before I had made the decision to pull on the current banner. Therefore, just so you know, the stars did align, and I do have a set of proper wings. Proper wings. And just so you know, I'm also slapping these bad boys on absolutely everything in the universe. And they're absolutely gorgeous. Thank you! 5-star tops in general. Mermaid set, I have one. We also had deer set from 2.2, I don't have that one. 5-star bottoms in general, mostly skirts. I won't lie, I would love us some pants, because we don't get 5-star pants at all, but I am personally a skirt girly in real life and in game as well, so I would love another 5-star skirt, especially considering that the more items there are in both categories, the more I can mix and match them, and that a top and bottom outfit in general, in theory, is more versatile than a full dress outfit. And I say in theory because we don't actually have enough pieces in those categories for it to be fully versatile. So I want more 5-star tops and bottoms. I didn't quite know what to call the hood from the Red Riding Hood, so I called it a cape. 5-star capes slash hoods, effectively. I have some capelets, hoodlets that are not 5 stars. They tend to be a lot less elaborate. I want more things to wear as outerwear, so I would like this category to grow and expand. Boots. I have 1.1 Wings of Wishes boots. For a long while, this has been the only 5-star boot that was available, and now I also have 2.4's Red Riding Hood 5-star boots. We need more boots, and we especially need more boots with 5-star outfits compared to platforms. Like, see how many platforms there are compared to how many boots there are. It's like, it's really mismatched. So I feel like we need more boot, and I feel like I would like more boot. Statement coats. I loved 1.8's Kitty Banner's coat. I also like 2.0's Behind Prayers 4 stars coat that kind of made you look like you are a priest of all things. I also liked the off-the-shoulder coat from 2.2 where Wang Shang meets Weave's life. I feel like I also need more plain dresses. It's not quite plain, but more like very body-hugging dresses that don't have too much happening at the bottom and don't have any dangly bits that fly through the cape to wear with these statement coats as well. Because you normally want both pieces. You want a statement coat and something to actually wear underneath it that still looks pretty, so I'm kind of on the lookout for both. Detachable colors. I have one. It's from the whole floral rebirth that also doubles as another veil, which helps because I'm collecting those apparently when I look at my own wardrobe. I kind of wanted the color from 1.10's opera fit, but the issue with that one is that it was kind of a ball gown shape and the rest of the outfit didn't appeal for me, and simply similarly to the wings, I'm not gonna be pulling just for the collar. Floral Rebirth kind of works as a collar, kind of has its own problems. Like, mainly there's a couple wispy strands over here instead of just like giving you the shape behind you that you would want from a collar, so it comes with some boob wisps on top of everything. I would also love some variations without the boob wisps as well, which means that I'm on the lookout for any colors incorporated into outfits. Sleeves! Who doesn't love a good detachable sleeve? If anything, 2.6 ball gown fit did receive quite a lot of people pulling it for the detachable sleeves, and I don't blame them. I'm not gonna be doing that, but I absolutely understand. I love a good detachable sleeve. It really changes the outfit. I absolutely would want more. I forgot the music 3-star store sets sleeves, so add another picture to that. I have some sleeves. I could go for more sleeves. This is an interesting category. Magic socks. Let me show you what I mean. So this is the thumbnail, and I think it shows off the magic socks pretty well. It doesn't work on Nikki's skin tones that are not white, because it doesn't quite blend, but because like the top part is stuck at being white. I don't know why they did that, but effectively starry, sparkly, magic-y feel that blend in and out of your skin tone. That sort of thing on gloves. I also love that on gloves. I recently got the store gloves. Well, not recently by the time this video releases, but I got the pair of store gloves that is also like very strongly colored, but then it like switches to like a scar pattern all over your hand. It's magic. It's very magical. What I mean is not your typical sock. Things that fall into the magical sock category, and I do not have. There are two types of socks that released with this. Socks that make your feet semi see-through. We had seen it in 2.1 banner, but I wasn't a super fan of the banner and I kind of needed to save after 2.0. And we also saw it again in 2.5's fighting fit. It's something that I absolutely want to secure and use because magic socks. I want some more magic socks. Going back, nails. I would even like a category for nails in Fold, please, because currently they're kind of spread out. There's nails from the store that fall into gloves category, and then there's 1.8 cat banner nails that fall into bracelet category. To compound it with nails, I would also like more rings. I do have some rings, but I don't have enough rings. That category is very, very bare. So rings and nails would be absolutely my preference for seeing in a banner rather than a pair of very basic socks or a very basic color, and you can't see either way. So if anyone's listening from Info, that is a change that I wish that they would make, that the smaller items meant to just kind of increase the amount of stuff that's in the banner were kind of things that we don't get all the time, rather than a whole bunch of things that we do get fairly on the regular. And also floaty shoes. I'm not really into barefoot look all that much, but I found that floaty shoes that kind of make you look mystical and like you're standing on nothing is a great way to elongate a fairly long dress, especially if you don't want the shoe to kick through the dress, because when it's floating, you don't see this part that kicks through the dress. Now, the issue with the current floaty shoes that I have from 1.8 banner is that they do come with quite a lot of accessories on the foot, and also the float of it itself is a colored effect. I would love the float to be a basic or hard to notice effect, because effectively I am using it to create the element of mystique rather than actually as a detail that I'm looking at all the time. And as such, I would also really like more floaty shoes. And this would be it for everything that I would want in the game and everything that I wouldn't want in the game, be it because I have too much of that item already, or be it because it doesn't appeal to me. Now, I wonder, how much of this list do you agree or disagree with? I do believe that me not really being into animalistic properties like tails and ears will be kind of controversial because I do know a lot of Nickies that are, and I also feel like me not minding platform shoes is also gonna be quite controversial because I know that a lot of people are very sick and tired about platform shoes. But the same way, I completely don't mind people that like the entirely opposite things to me. If you're a ball gown girly and you ate well during 2.6 patch, then good for you! Great! You have another dress that you enjoy, and that's the point of a dress up game. Like, have a variety of clothes to dress up in that you feel good about and that you love. So I wonder, please tell me in the comment section down below how similar or different your personal list like this would be from mine. Like, what would you change? What shocked you? What kind of things do you want and what kind of things don't you want? I would love to hear that. Now, thank you for watching. Thank you so much for my Patreon supporters. And this is the end of this video. Toodaloo.